So the other day I got an email, and it said, "Dear atheist fuckhead, you're gonna burn in hell for eternity. Your problem is that you're not humble enough. You need to be more humble. Humble like Jesus. You're gonna fucking pay for everything you've done." And at first I was like, holy shit, dude, that's not very humble. Telling somebody else they're gonna be tortured for eternity is about the least fucking humble thing I can imagine. But then I started thinking, I don't want to burn in hell for eternity. That sounds fucking awful, man. That's bullshit. I don't do well in the heat at all, man. I got to have air conditioner. I'm like a bitch, man, so I can't fucking handle that shit. So I was like, alright, what do I gotta do? I gotta be humble like Jesus? Is that what I gotta do? Okay, I'll fucking try this shit. So for an entire week, I decided to try to be humble, exactly like Jesus, to see if my life got any better. So I was already heading out the door anyway, because I was going to this party that I got invited to. There's this really cute half-black chick there named Rebecca, who I really want to bang the shit out of. And the best part is that she's a Christian. So I figure when she sees how humble I'm being, like all humble like Jesus and shit, I'll be able to get all up in there, man. All up in there, because Christian girls, they love Jesus, man. They love Jesus. They eat Jesus up, man. Eat him up and lick the spoon, man. That's how Christian girls do. They think he is sexy as shit. So I was like, I'm definitely going to bang this girl once she sees how humble I'm being. No doubt about it. So I walk in, and the music is just blaring through the speakers. So I walk over and I turn off the radio and I say, everybody please listen up. I have a very important announcement. It turns out that I am God in the flesh, and if everybody doesn't worship me, you're going to be tortured forever and ever and ever. I'm sorry, that's just the fucking way it is. And as they were kicking the shit out of me, I heard them saying a lot of things, man. They were saying stomp on his nuts, let's stick shit up his ass. I heard all kinds of stuff. But not one person, not one of them mentioned how humble I was being. And that black girl I wanted to bang, she ended up leaving with a black guy who did not look humble at all. Not at all. It didn't seem to bother her at all that he wasn't humble. She seemed to kind of get off on just how unhumble he actually was, man. So I got my ass out of there quick. I jumped in my car and I sped away, and as I was heading home, I saw a Catholic church on the side of the road, and it had a sign that said, "Bingo, tonight at 7:30. And I was thinking, bingo, they're gambling in the house of God? That's like having money changers in the motherfucking house of God. Oh, hell no. We know how Jesus handles this shit. So I pulled up in that bitch. I took my belt off. I went up in there, started turning tables over and whipping the shit out of the old people with my belt. And they were screaming and they were running everywhere. And I grabbed those bingo balls and I threw them on the ground. And the old people were tripping and they were following the ping pong balls. And I was whipping them and I was whipping them. And they were screaming and they was running all over. And wigs and fucking teeth were flying everywhere. And I heard a lot of shit, I promise you. They were screaming all kinds of shit, man. They were screaming, "Oh my God, somebody call the cops, this motherfucker's crazy." And one old lady was like, "Oh my God, you hit me in the eye with your belt buckle." But the one thing none of those old motherfuckers said was, look how humble he is being. That guy is acting just like Jesus Christ. Nobody fucking mentioned it. So, of course, I got out of there before the cops came. I mean, I got warrants. Fuck that shit. So I was in my car cruising around and I was starting to get a little depressed, man. I mean, I was being Jesus like a motherfucker, man. And I was like, what the goddamn hell do I have to do to get these people to realize I'm being humble as a motherfucker? And then it hit me, like a divine fucking inspiration. I had to go big. So I went over and I picked up these two meth heads I know, Eric and James. You'd be surprised how few questions meth heads will ask, as long as you promise to provide them with more meth. I mean, it must be an amazing drug, because these motherfuckers are willing to rot their teeth out, they're willing to burn their skin up, they're willing to give their lives up for this meth shit. Must be fucking awesome. So anyway, right up the road here in Memphis, there's this huge ass church, and right out front they had this real big wooden cross. So I got Eric and James to get a ladder, man, and they went up there and they tied me up there, and I had them nail me to this big cross motherfucker, man. So they nailed my ass up there, man, and they took the ladder away and they went off to buy them some meth or whatever the fuck they do. And I was just hanging up there, and I gotta admit, man, I was kind of crying like a little bitch because that shit hurt. And I had been hanging up there for like 10 minutes or so before a crowd gathered. And I heard women and children crying. I heard somebody, "Please call the cops, get him down from there." I heard people gasping in terror. But not a single one of those people, not a single one, mentioned how humble I was being. I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't fucking believe nobody was mentioning how humble I was being. And I just looked down upon them in disgust and shook my head and said, "I'm doing this for you. You're welcome." And then I looked up at the sky and I said, "God, please forgive these ignorant motherfuckers. They don't know what the fuck they're doing." And do you know, not a single person mentioned my humility? Not the horrified onlookers, not the fire department that got me down, not the police that locked me up, not the psychiatrist that put me in a home for 3 months. None of those motherfuckers, none of them, mentioned how humble I was being. And that is fucking bullshit. So the moral of the story is this. Don't even bother wasting your life trying to be humble like Jesus. Because Jesus was a conceited prick. He really was. Real talk. For reals.